So I'm going on a trip for a bit, and that really got me thinking. Portable gaming might be one of the best innovations in technology ever. I mean, that might be a bit of an exaggeration, but either way it's absolutely amazing. Because instead of having to wait till you're home to farm your dopamine, you can do it on the go. In all seriousness though, I really love portable gaming and handheld consoles. So kicking off today's video, I want to talk about my personal favorite portable console probably ever, the Nintendo 3DS. Yeah, it's great because it's the 3DS and it's just amazing, but recently I modded mine and holy shit. I've been putting modding my 3DS off for so long, and now I feel like I've been missing out on so much. And with Nintendo shutting down the eShop on there, as well as video game collectors starting to boost the price of the physical games, now's a better time than ever to mod your 3DS if you haven't. But even a normal unmodded one is great. The game selection is really solid, especially because you can also play DS games on it. It's also home to the best Animal Crossing game and the best Pokemon game, so there's that. The battery life is pretty good as well, and it also charges decently quick. So all in all, I have no complaints with the 3DS, other than Nintendo shutting down all the online stuff. And for anyone with larger hands complaining about how the 3DS feels to hold, which I get, the 2DS's base design pretty much improves on that in every way. It's just a great console. I kinda wanna talk about the Switch as well to kinda get the Nintendo stuff out of the way. It's not 100% a portable console unless you have the Switch Lite, but the Switch handheld / portable, whatever you wanna call it, experience is pretty decent. It's not as optimized for that kind of on-the-go gameplay like the 3DS is, but it gets the job done. And the reason I say it's not as optimized is the battery. The OLED model kind of fixes this issue, but I have the launch edition one. It kind of depends what I'm playing though, but if I'm playing a more demanding game like Breath of the Wild, or really most first-party Nintendo games, the battery lasts me maybe 2 to 4 hours at most. And I don't know about you, but the only time I'm really playing the Switch in handheld mode now is when I'm traveling, so 2 hours is not going to cut it for me. And after the initial kind of novelty of being able to go between the docked mode and the portable mode, I really only started playing on my TV. I also much rather my Pro controller over my Joy-Cons, and playing with a Pro controller with the Switch undocked feels really awkward. But yeah, if I'm staying at a hotel or an Airbnb or something for like a week, I might take my dock, but usually if I'm going somewhere and I want to play games, I'll take the 3DS. Also, the 3DS is compact and can fit in my pocket, so overall it's just easier to take places, but I still do love the Switch. But anyways, the next console I want to talk about is the PS Vita. Some people say it's a failure, but there were some absolute bangers on this thing. I had to play Hot Shots Golf and Uncharted Golden Abyss through an emulator, but I still really enjoyed my time on those throughout all the lag and stuttering that does come with most emulators. Those are the only PS Vita games I've really played and spent time on, but I can only imagine how much of a good time it is to actually own and play these titles on a real PS Vita. I would like to get one at some point just to mess around on maybe, because like I said, it looks like a good time. But since around 2012 when the Vita came out, it seems like Sony sadly hasn't really tried to get back into the handheld console market. Unless you count the PlayStation Portal, but counting that thing as a console is a far reach. And that brings me to the PlayStation Portable. The PSP is like the hot mom of handheld gaming, and by far PlayStation's best handheld console. There's not a lot to be said about it other than that it's pretty fucking awesome, and has aged pretty well since its 2005 global release. You can definitely see that it's pretty old from first glance, because it does kinda have that early 2000s look to its design, but still an awesome console nonetheless. Also, Killzone Liberation released on it, and that game is one of the most underrated games probably ever. And you can also play a lot of PSP games directly on the PS5, which is how I even came across Killzone Liberation in the first place. And yeah, overall it's just a cool console that I really want to pick up someday, and I like the idea of it more than I do the Vita. I really do hope Sony gives us some new portable device sometime in the foreseeable future though, because I really want to see what they can do with their newer modern hardware. There's supposedly rumors of them announcing something new, but this information is just off some random blog. I can see them maybe cooking something up with the release of other competitors in the scene like the Nintendo with their Switch successor or even the Steam Deck. Like the PSP, I don't really have much to say about the Steam Deck other than that you can play PC games on it, which is really cool. Most of the games I play on PC are online stuff with friends though, and I probably wouldn't have a Wi-Fi connection wherever I'm going with this. But the Steam Deck would be sick if I had a job or something where I'm always going somewhere, and if I just played more single player PC games. But I still have nothing against it, I actually still think it's really cool regardless. And from what I hear, it's pretty worth the price, but it's also kind of bulky and heavy, which is to be expected from pretty much anything that can run AAA games. It seems like most of the portable consoles that are being released or have been released in the past pretty much all have less than a 10-hour battery life as well. Bringing up the point of actually taking these things places, I would really love to see something that has maybe a better battery or just better power efficiency. That would maybe be hard to do for anyone actually making these consoles to accomplish, and also 5 times as expensive, but a crazy battery would be a big part of what I guess would be my dream handheld console. Also something a little more comfortable to hold because my hands are too big or something, and I just can't comfortably hold my 3DS or even my Switch for too long. But that's not really a big deal to me because I mostly just care about the battery life more than anything. The big thing that I really love about handhelds as a whole is the game selection. To me, the games either have really big highs or really not that even low lows. That's because a lot of the portable console games were actually made for whatever they're on, and most of them aren't just half-ass ports. Except for the Call of Duty DS ports, which aren't even ports but more just their own honestly dumb but funny games. So I guess those aren't great, but they would be kinda interesting to have in your collection. But I would say a good majority of these games are pretty good, especially for what a lot of them have to run on. A lot of physical ones are honestly astronomically priced at this point, but it still doesn't take away from their quality. So if you can't tell by now, I absolutely love portable gaming and all of the different consoles and variety you get with it. It seems really overlooked, especially nowadays, with the exception of the more PC-based machines. But what I really want is like an Ultra Turbo DS or some shit, or the rumored new PlayStation Portable thing. But please like and sub and all that if you enjoyed the video. Goodbye.